Rachel, okay, nice job last week. Here's a couple of the things that we worked on. So, for Sugar Magnolia, the two technical elements that I really want you to build with this tune are A, taking a flat finger three note triad, okay, and learning how to do that double suspension, which takes you to the four chord, but doing it cleanly, okay? So, one exercise to try is like this. And this is A as a starting point. You can move it up and do it on B. C. Make sure you rest your hand between intervals so that the muscles are not contracted the whole time. D. And E. Even calling out the chord is useful too, because you get used to this idea of the linearity of the fretboard. A, B, C, D, E. Okay? The other lick from this tune was very closely related. You were taking a D chord, but I showed you how you put it in first inversion by playing three notes up the root, ending on the third of the chord, which is F sharp, and slapping that triad down with your first finger. So this is the root position D, and this is the first inversion D over F sharp, and oftentimes played in little riffs like this. The rhythms there are endless, but you can try starting on C and going, and doing it on D, then on E. Of course, Sugar Magnolias does it in D. So the idea here is that you need the A string, which is the D string on the A note, ringing cleanly as you hammer the ring finger on with a nice curve. This is a real challenge for most people's hands, and it takes a while, so don't get discouraged. But if you pick it independently, you can really hear whether you're getting it right. So we created an exercise where you start down south at the first fret, which is where it's harder because the frets are wider. Do a couple of them, and you can just move up chromatically. Okay. You could also move perpendicular through the strings with a similar exercise. Start on the low E string and go, then switch string groups. Switch string groups. Okay, it works on all of them, some better than others. There's only one that's kind of funky, but you'll hear it. Then you can try it as actual double stop, playing both strings at once. This one's a funky one, G and B. Okay, those are the technical bits. Now, another related technical bit was from Scarlet Begonias, because it uses that same idea but on an E form. So you could take an E chord and go 2 by putting the third in the bass. You could do it on a G. It's just that when you land on the inversion, you can only get 2 strings instead of 3 or 4. So the lick from Sugar Magnolias was this. You were trying to do something like that. In which case I said, leave the first finger flat. Don't slide. Hammer on C to C sharp. Can't remember the exact phrasing, but it was something to that effect. And then in Scarlet Begonias, you have this long run, which is almost like an exercise on that principle. A, B, you can take that a little further if you want. The B lick, if you took it all the way up, would go like this. You can disregard that. I can't remember how it went. That's most of what we covered. Cumberland Blues, here's the couple little licks that we dealt with. We decided that it's 2 guitar parts at once. So the first one is like this. Down, down, up, 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 down, down. Okay. The other one is the same principle from before. It's a 4 chord, it's a 1 chord G going to a 4 chord D. Sorry, C, but in this case you just flatten out. It's the same way of doing this trick. You can hear that but the voicings are different now. So we got, okay, you can move that up to A, just to practice the fingering, to B, and then back to G. Now in Cumberland Blues it sounds more like this. And that's a 3-note dominant 7th chord where you hammer on the 3rd. Getting that clean's also tough. That's a nice goal for that. Okay, email me with questions.